In 1963, an article appeared in the Orangevale newspaper announcing a new drive-in movie theater that was being constructed in the Orangevale area and would have its grand opening on Wednesday evening, July 3rd, 1963. The movies they were showing would be The Greatest Show on Earth, Elephant Walk, and The Bramble Bush. My father took our family to the grand opening of the Sunrise Drive-In Theater. The line we were in was backed up past Kenneth Avenue. At that time, Kenneth didn't go through to Oak. Skydivers were landing at the drive-in parking lot as part of a promotion. I can't say that I remember watching the second and third movies, but I definitely remember watching The Greatest Show on Earth with James Stewart, Charlton Heston, and Betty Hutton. Such an exciting evening. I've often wondered why they were showing 10-year-old movies at a brand new drive-in theater. But that was the tradition and legacy of the Sunrise Drive-In. For $1.50 a carload, you got to see 3 second-run movies. Hard to beat. The Sunrise Drive-In, like most drive-ins of the time, had a 2-line system for the snack bar concession area. That night, and for many years to come, both lines were jam-packed and busy. In 1963, there were only 3 channels on TV. No video players, game consoles, cell phones, or internet, and people ate the drive-in up, along with mounds and mounds of snacks from the snack bar. There was nothing like the drive-in, sitting in the privacy of your car outdoors under the stars for the evening. Also, exclusive to the Sunrise Drive-In, there was that distinct voice which came from the car speaker announcing the movies and describing the wide assortment of goodies available at your friendly snack bar. We went to the Sunrise Drive-In many times over the years, and there would be that distinct voice time and again coming to us through the car speaker and into the privacy of our car. As a kid, there was nothing like falling asleep in the back of the car while my dad drove us home. The greatest sleep I will ever know. My wife Cindy and I met just before high school, and the Sunrise Drive-In was among our favorite places to go when we started dating, especially when they had 3 horror movies playing. That was the best, and during the early 70s was quite often the genre in the lineup for the Sunrise Drive-In. Add to it that fantastic pizza they made. During high school, if I was short on cash for a date, I would go give blood. For that, I received $5. $1 would cover 4 gallons of gas for the car. $2 would pay for the entrance into the drive-in itself, leaving me $2 to pay for various goodies. Life was good. As the years went by, Cindy and I got married and we started taking our children to the Sunrise Drive-In. It was about that time that I really started wondering about the voice I had heard making the announcements at the Sunrise Drive-In over the many years. I had never met or seen Gabe before. In my mind, for whatever reason, I pictured him as a mature fellow with a white cowboy hat. Who knew? It was the night before the 27th anniversary of the opening of the theater that I decided that I was going to meet the voice. Fred was very kind, looked nothing like what I had pictured, and even allowed me into his projection booth to video him while he was working on his equipment. Over the next couple of years, we got to know Fred and June. One night, I approached them with a proposition. I asked them if they would be interested in trading some of my artwork for a lifetime pass to the drive-in. Fred didn't even hesitate and said, "Sure." When I asked him what he would like me to paint for them, he exclaimed, "Well, the drive-in, of course." There are many people who have just as fond of memories of the Sunrise Drive-In Theater as we do. Over the years, I took a few videos at the drive-in. In 2005, after the theater was gone, I decided that I'd like to try and put together a video about the Sunrise Drive-In using the footage I had taken. It was in 2005 that Cindy and I did some interviews with June and Fred. Unfortunately, due to unforeseen challenges, the video got shelved for many years. In 2019, I decided to try and finish the video. It was only then that I discovered that both Fred and June had passed away. Bummed out, but now, more determined than ever to complete what I had started, I began working in earnest to complete the video. The video is now complete. The footage is old VHS video, and most of it shot in low light, so the quality of the video is terrible. But hopefully, you will be able to see past the lousy quality of the footage and appreciate being able to take a step back through time to once again see what we have lost and will never come our way again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back again to the Sunrise Drive-In. Hi.
Hello. $4, please. Thank you.
Thanks. Them and me.
There's Ernest up there.
Did this just start?
Just a second.
On this side of the snack bar.
Okay, here we are, Sunrise Drive-In. They're lovely. They're glad to see us. Here's our lights on.
What's up?
Good morning, Mr. Puddlesmooth, Smiddlepin, Smoodlepoot. Hangles life, you idiot. Can't you get anything right? Why are you such a screw-up?
Oh dear.
Hi.
Hi.
Ernest, you gotta be more careful.
I know.
Hi.
I'll never get to be a clerk. I'll be lucky if they let me stay on as a janitor, know what I mean?
Hey, baby, I can help you with that promotion. All you need is a little
Yes, huh?
John, why, that
Here,
man
Dickie,
is
take
putty
some.
in my fingers.
Can't wait
I'm
till-
just toying with him now, like a kitten.
Here.
Oh, sure, Charlie. You just want to go to I've never understood why I had such a profound well, I'm right there.
And so where were you born?
Manila.
Oh, you were born in Manila. I didn't know that. Manila, what were your folks doing there?
My dad was here in the States and he went to the Philippines
Okay.
and he opened some haberdashery stores.
What brought you to the States?
After the war, we were going to come before the war broke out.
Uh-huh.
And then the war broke out and we were stuck there, so then we came after the war. World War II.
World War II.
Yeah.
Okay. How old were you when you came to the States?
18. Went to Petaluma.
Oh, Petaluma, California.
Yeah.
Well, tell us what life was like growing up in Petaluma.
It was fine. We blended in real nice, you know.
Why did you go to Petaluma?
Because my uncle, who was my dad's, grew up with my dad in the old country, you know, he sponsored us to come to Petaluma.
All right.
So was that pretty typical? Did a lot of families do that?
Yeah.
And so in Petaluma,
When my senior year, 1 year, Petaluma High School.
so you came when you were
2
about
years at Santa Rosa JC.
So you came when you were about 17 then.
Yeah, 18, just before I turned 18.
So were you interested in the movies at that time?
No, I just went to work at the Cal Theater as an usher.
Was it just a job or?
Yeah, just an after school job, weekend job, and it got in my blood and I stayed in it.
So
There you go.
so what happened after the Cal Theater?
Well, I worked at the Cal Theater, and then I was offered a manager job at the Redwood Drive-In Theater in Santa Rosa. So I took that job, and then I was offered a better paying job as a manager of the San Pablo Auto Movie in Richmond. So then I moved from Petaluma to Richmond.
So where
And
did you
at
go?
that time, I was the youngest manager for United Artists Theaters.
Oh, hey.
How old were you?
I was about 19, going on 20.
Boy.
So you're just
Well,
kind of
just about 20, I would say, yeah.
just kind of a go-getter?
Huh?
Kind of a go-getter?
Yeah.
So where did you go from Richmond then?
I beg your pardon?
Where'd you go from Richmond?
From Richmond, let's see. From Richmond, then we opened the Concord Auto Movies. 7 guys, 7 of us opened the Concord Auto Movies in Concord.
Well, who were these 7 guys? I know one of them was you, but how did you guys happen to all come together?
Well, one of them was my Uncle Doc Nafee.
Okay.
Then there was Dick and a couple other friends of his. And Vern Ziesman, who was doing the buying and booking. And we opened the Concord Auto Movie. And then we opened the Hilltop Drive-In Theater.
Is an auto movie the same
It's
thing
a
as
drive-in.
a drive-in?
Yeah, we just called it an auto
They
movie.
called it an auto.
You come in a car, auto. I'm making up the show for Friday.
You doing a little editing here, are you?
No, splicing the movies together.
I'm not quite sure I understand. You're splicing the
Well,
movies
see,
together.
the films come in cans like that.
And so you have to put them together.
So 3 of these will make one of those big ones.
So now do you have to take them apart once you're done and put them back in? Good grief. So what's the future of Sunrise Drive-In?
Who knows? That's a good question.
Well, this is where it all takes place. Huh?
The projection movie.
Yeah. Well, it's so nice that they're still running around. You know, do you have any plans in the near future of closing it down or anything?
I have no idea what they're going to do.
No, but I remember, I don't know if you still do, but they used to, you used to make all the announcements on, you still make all the announcements?
Oh, yeah.
Tell me your full name again.
Fred Gabriel.
I take it these are the original projectors that were workhorses, that's it. Have you had to have them repaired much, or?
Oh, minor repairs, nothing major.
And this is obviously the speaker graveyard.
No, some are good, some are bad.
Replacement parts. Well, listen, Mr. Gabriel, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
So what year was this then?
about 60, 58, 60.
Okay. So
58 was Concord. Yeah, 58, 60 was Concord, and then 63 was Hilltop Drive-In Theater.
So was Hilltop just before Sunrise then?
Hilltop opened just about the time Sunrise was opening.
Well, tell us all about how the Sunrise Drive-In came about. Give us a little history there.
Well, let's see. My ex-wife, Jane, my wife at that time, her father and her uncle were opening the Sunrise Drive-In Theater. So they talked me into coming to Sacramento.
So they were actually opening it up then.
Opening the drive-in, yeah.
Okay. So what happened then?
So I came up and I ran it. I managed it.
Well, give us a little insight to that. Tell us what it was like when in the beginning.
Oh, it was a madhouse. That place was packed every night, 7 nights a week. Greenback Lane was just 2 lanes.
Yeah, I remember that.
Fair Oaks never extended. It dead-ended right at Greenback. And the line ended up almost at Sunrise Boulevard for cars trying to get into the theater.
I remember my family and I, we went the first night it opened, and we were coming from the other direction, and the traffic was backed all the way up past where Kenneth is now. Of course, Kenneth didn't go through that
Yeah.
time. But so I remember that very well. What was opening day like? Actually, you told me another time that you guys had the day before or something. You had
The day before we had a private party.
Yeah, what was that like?
It was a fun night. We had hors d'oeuvres, open bar.
So who was invited to that?
Like the contractors and the people that build the drive-in, the newspaper people, the media.
Oh,
Ansel Hoffman was there, one of the supervisors.
wow.
And then film people came up from San Francisco.
What movie?
It was a party night.
Here's all the toys that who knows if kids play on anymore. And the bathrooms just aren't quite what they used to be.
Young man, could you please open that gate? I left my car running outside.
Ma'am, can you tell me how you got to this gate? The visitors area is on the other side of the prison.
I brought him up as best I could, but sometimes a bad seed falls.
For food, that's the time to pick up something delicious here at our handy refreshment center. Choose fruit sandwiches like tender, juicy hot dogs, slowly roasted, seasoned all their meat.
Today is June what? 12th?
Flavor of popcorn,
Or 13th?
freshly popped, hot from the kettle.
12th. What you got? Drink.
Popcorn. Hands me all the goodies.
Boy, what a pig's in there. Where's the bonbons? Boy, anything else you got? I can't see the bonbons. Here we are at the luxurious Sunrise Drive-In, checking up on the Silver Star.
The drink's all gone. Drink's all gone.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. Oh.
I think my left side looks better than my right side.
You do, huh?
It's not the same without our old announcer. Should
They
have
say he still announces sometimes. That sounds like a recording they got going right now.
Why? When did you ask him?
Well, there's Dale out there with the kids on the toys.
Where you glad I sent you that recording?
Yeah, made me chunky. The beautiful Sunrise Drive-In. What a thrill. What's the cellophane out for?
I was eating it.
You taking pictures?
No, not yet.
When are you gonna?
Do your welcome to the Sunrise Drive-In.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once again to the Sunrise Drive-In. We hope you're enjoying yourself and plan to join us in the future, or something like that.
Cindy's impression of me eating.
If you've ever seen Orson Welles eating,
That's Cindy.
Brett.
Well, the sun's going down. And as the sun sets into the west, we are T-minus 3 minutes from showtime, supposedly. With butter.
I heard somebody walk.
Yeah. Go back to way back when, to where you very first ever heard of the Sunrise Drive-In. How did you first hear about the Sunrise
Oh, how did I
Drive-In?
first hear about Sunrise Drive-In? We lived on Oak Avenue. I did, with the 5 kids then and their dad. And it was in back of the drive-in. And when they first opened it up, they had these paratroopers come down into.
We remember.
I
that.
remember that.
Yeah, and the kids, you know, would go out in the backyard and sit and wait for time for the paratroopers to drop so they could watch them. That was our money's worth.
There you go. Yeah.
We didn't have much, you know.
I
entertainment.
remember that
Yeah,
too.
yeah. And then I got a job there because the kids, I could be with them, get them off to school and everything, you know, and their dad would be home in the evening. And I could, you know, be gone and everything. It ended up being the best job because the kids' dad and I knew at that time we were going to be splitting up. Anyway, so this here was like, well, I had worked for the Sacramento Bee and had sold advertising. In working for the Sacramento Bee, I would have had to have gotten an extra car to work downtown. I would have had to have a babysitter for Colleen, who was a baby. He dressed great for the job at that time at the Bee. There was dresses and pantyhose, and the women went to lunches, and I had to work for the money, you know.
Right.
So anyway, I thought, well, you know what? If I went to the drive-in over here and back and just work in the evening, Diane would be home, you know, and the kids' dad would be home sometime. I wouldn't need babysitter number one. Wouldn't have to dress up, just save, you know, just chopping the money down to where what I made wasn't going to be a lot, but it was going to be equivalent to what I was going to end up with at the other job.
Sure.
Well, as it turned out, my kids becoming teenagers, it was the most heavenly job I could have had with teenagers. At that time, it was the most popular spot in the world for a teenager to be. And the kids, you know, worked there, but they had their friends came in. Pat, I'd tell him, you know, get over there and make some popcorn, and he would say, give me 5 minutes. And disappear, and I'd be so mad at him. And he'd come back with 4 friends who was just tickled to death to be able to come in there and make popcorn. And he'd have it running and nothing flat, you know, and he'd get him a Coke and take it down to him, because everybody wanted to be there. The kids, that was their hangout.
Oh.
There he
Hey,
is.
there you are. You made it back.
You bet.
Where's John?
John, I don't know where it is.
Well, is it showtime yet?
Few more minutes. Just hang in there.
We love it. We've been coming here since I was just a little kid, and we were at the car show last year, and there's a lot bigger turnout this year, but this is wonderful. It's beautiful. You did it really, and I also paint, and so I can really, really admire what you did. It's very good. I really.
You've got the important job over here, huh? Taking the money.
Bob, you got to see barbecues going over there?
I did. You know, I was getting some of the taillights down there, and all of a sudden I noticed somebody had some fires going down.
3 barbecues going.
You allow them to do that then, huh?
Well, it's a fun night.
Sunrise Drive-In. There's Amy at the sunrise. Wait, hold still. Let's put the gain up here. Amy, hold still. There she is. Now I can see her. Got the gain up on this thing now. How you like coming to the drive-in?
I wanted to get something to eat.
And they just, you know, they had their friends, they had everything.
Boy,
I
what
was
good
with them.
memories for them.
Oh, they have wonderful memories of it. Yeah,
They
yeah.
do.
They remember it was hot when we made popcorn, and the air conditioners with the pizza ovens never kept the heat out, that you sweat and sweat dripped down your legs, you know, and we were miserable. But they have good, wonderful thoughts too, you know, of it.
There was no air conditioning in it.
We had the water cooler.
Oh,
And with 3 pizza ovens and a popcorn popper going and the
Didn't do
doors open,
Uh-huh.
hot as could be in there. It was just so hot. By the end of the night, you were just wore out between running and the heat. You know, it took its toll. Yeah. I had tired kids that were willing to go out and do a heck of a lot more.
Now they always showed, what was it, 3 movies?
3 movies, yeah. Sometimes it started to be getting daylight before we'd get out of there.
Oh my goodness.
And it was great because after, you know, the cars left, there would be seagulls that actually came in. And they'd be flying around waiting for the last cars to go.
Oh.
Well, swoop in to clean
So
up.
they could swoop in on the popcorn. You'd see them out there with a head in a popcorn box and popcorn all over the place and everything.
How funny.
It was a sight to see.
Oh, I wish we had pictures of that.
Oh, I know.
BJ, the artist, the big guy.
And this is the guy we've been coming to see for the past 30 years.
Thanks for coming.
What about, I remember skydivers or something.
Oh yeah, we used to have the skydivers come in. But the skydivers, they were there almost like every weekend.
Oh, okay.
What was there about the drive-in that you liked? Why did you do it for so long? What about it was?
I guess when you get in the theater business, it gets in your blood and you can't explain it. You just love what you're doing.
Was it the fact that it was a drive-in, or what could it
No,
just?
I had indoor theaters too. I had the State Theater in Martinez at one time.
Which did you prefer?
I like the drive-ins because more casual atmosphere.
They
More
really-
family-oriented. People come with their babies in the back, you know.
Yeah.
Their kids. You had a playground for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that. And yeah, a lot of the theaters even had. I remember some of them had trains and.
Oh, my drive-in in San Pablo, the San Pablo Auto Movie, we had a miniature train with a tunnel underneath the screen, and we just kept going around in circles, riding kids.
What do you guys want?
So now, how did you guys determine or pick the pictures you were going to show?
Gabe always did that. You know, that was his thing, you know, calling and booking the movies and everything. When I first went to work at the theater, Gabe wasn't there. I went to work for Ramsey Nafee's friend who was a partner in it. Gabe had left for a short while. But then he came back. And when he came back, I was managing it that time, you know, and he did spot checks and everything else, see if I was doing it okay, you know, making sure if he's going to keep me or not. But anyway, he told me on Wednesdays when he'd take off to go to San Francisco, this is my office number. If you ever need me, call me at my office in San Francisco. I did need him one time. And I called. It was a bar.
Oh, that's funny.
all the film people at that time came to the bars. And the guys had beers, they had lunches, they had everything. They talked over what film was available and what you could get. Then when they were through, they went down to the company, whatever it was, down the street. Most of them were around there. Booked it at the office. And then that was for the next week, and you picked up the film that you were going to get there at the company.
Now that's true, Gabe. You didn't have to pay for the phone.
Yeah. But I was like, you know, I have the right number. And I was like, you know, when she answered da-da-da, bar, whatever it was, and I said, is there a Fred Gabriel there? You know, I said, yeah. And he's like, hello. You know,
Everybody knew him, I bet.
oh, yeah. You know, Gabe's personality, you know, everybody knew Gabe. Yeah, he had that personality. You'd never forget him.
That's okay. Go ahead.
Sunrise Drive-In. And welcome again to the Graffiti Night sponsored by the Thunderbolts Capital Auto Club. We're selling raffle tickets for the 55th for the drawing that's going to be held at intermission. So if you haven't bought your raffle tickets yet, club members are walking around selling them. They're in arm length for $5. We'll start off this evening with our first feature, Dennis the Menace, and second on the program, Dave. All your Showtime treats are ready waiting for you at the snack bar. There's fresh hot coffee, freshly baked pizza. You have your choice of cheese, Italian sausage, pepperoni, and deluxe combination pizza with everything on it. Anyone desiring a pizza, place your pizza order in as soon as you get to the snack bar. Your pizza will be freshly baked in 4 minutes. We're now serving delicious all-beef tamales, beef and bean burritos, and cheese nachos. Those hot dogs and hamburgers. King-size ice-cold door pickles. There's Diet Coke and Classic Coke. High-C lemonade and high-C fruit punch. Fresh hot buttered popcorn and candy. And large boxes of red vines. Visit the snack bar for any of your Showtime treats. By the way, there's a beautiful oil painting by BJ on display in the snack bar. If you haven't seen it yet, it's worth your walk to the snack bar to see it. This is a painting of Graffiti Night last year.
Well, here we are, Sunrise Drive-In. I'm turning. I'm just turning.
There's a pole.
I know. Sunrise Drive-In.
Hey, do they get in free if they walk?
We do.
No.
You think so?
Oh, we get in free all the time.
How much does it cost for a walk?
Oh,
They don't.
they charge per person. These guys are all here with their cars. It's Graffiti Night.
Isn't that pretty? Yep, the movie started.
I don't think so. Oh. It's Judy. It's Graffiti Night, and you're on TV.
I jumped out in the bush.
What was that?
She said, do you ever go in the boys' bathroom? And I said,
Have you ever gone?
I've been in one.
Stuff. No, I mean.
I like it.
Why is it?
Woo!
Whoa.
It's Graffiti Night.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, you guys, you can walk around and look at the cars.
Yeah, they'll talk to you about the cars. Where? Jason's out there. Must have picked up some friends.
Wow.
Josh, see that thing up on the You have to go first.
Right.
I'm watching you. Just let me know if I
Oh,
run
there's
over
a little
anybody.
purple one over here.
It's cute.
Duck your head. You're in your head.
Ooh, look at that red one.
Man, somebody took our spot.
Oh, we don't have a spot. Hey, look at this clean parking lot. I wonder who cleaned it today.
We have a whole new appreciation for it.
You'll find a popular selection of refreshing soft drinks. But don't forget, when you want big refreshment, you want the 6 jumbo-sized cup of ice-cold Coca-Cola. Take it from me, Coca-Cola, or real things. Well, let's find out for more of your favorite songs. And start off with his lovely Sheila Easton and Kisses.
Hey, look at that clean parking lot. He went that way. How'd you miss him? He was over here by the car and then went over that way.
I thought he was up there. I'm like, wait a minute, that's not them. And then I come up here, I go up there, all of a sudden he comes out of the snack bar and he's going, John! I thought that was you guys playing football.
We had a golf ball playing.
Give us a rundown on an average night for you from beginning to end, as far as what all was
Oh my
involved.
God, because it changed so all the time. Let's see.
Well, the one that stands out brightest in your mind.
Okay, one of the things stands out the brightest is coming in there and getting ready to get the box office open. And Gabe, the first thing as soon as you got there, you know, he was a great merchandiser. He was. He just, and it didn't matter if there were 5 cars going to be out there or 500. Get the popcorn popper going and get that popcorn so the aroma, you know, will go out on the lot. And then he had this candy wrap that he filled, no matter how many people were there, to the top. 2 yellows couldn't be together, you know, he had just his way he did it.
Wow.
His little fingers touching and, you know, making straight, you know, and everything, getting ready, I was usually in the kitchen part and screaming directions onto the kids, and then he was, you know, doing what he had to do. And, yeah, it's just going as fast as we could most of the time till first intermission, getting stuff going and going. Those were the good days.
So,
2 sides, 2 registers.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember going in there with my
Those were
family.
the good days. There wasn't enough time. You fought for time all night long.
Bet the
Just fought
evening
for it.
went fast.
Went real fast, real fast. He was just fighting for time,
so
constantly.
Was there a period then, like after second intermission, when things kind of
Slowed down a little bit, then you could kind of catch up a bit. Yeah,
Catch your-
yeah.
Catch your breath.
By that time, you couldn't walk in the kitchen. It was full of candy boxes and everything. You just slung in there on the floor, you know. Yeah.
So people were just constantly coming in, even during the movie. Then.
Oh yeah, yeah. And it was busy enough, you know, that before the movie, you know, Gabe got on his mic and sold, and people came in, and then you stocked up again during the movie. Then you had the big intermissions. Then you stocked up for the next intermission, which would be not big, but you know, still. And just enough stuff to start the next day with, a little popcorn to put out, and whatever, just continually going, you know.
So how long were you guys usually there after the last person left?
After the second intermission, we usually stayed open a half hour, and then we closed the snack bar. But by that time, it was cleaning up, going in the office, making up the receipts for the night, whole thing. and get out of there sometimes after the third movie was over, not always before. Yeah, it was a long night.
Yeah, I remember when Cindy and I would go to the drive-in. You know, I think Cindy was asleep by the end of by the middle of the first movie.
I'm not a night owl by.
But you know, with the kids and the people, I had a lot of friends. So did Gabe. We had regulars. We seen their kids. We seen their grandkids. We seen everything, you know, and it was a wonderful job.
Just not just a business, a way of life.
No, it was. Yeah. Just, you know, and the kids, their friends, and coming back and bringing their kids and everything. Yeah, it was good. It was good to me.
He's wired.
It's Kenny.
Not yet.
Kenny.
Yeah, they did their share. That's my little grandson.
He's wired, Amy.
He's wired. Yes. Real wired.
Right in front, though.
Oh, why today of all days? You could have done it last night and I was a lot better. All the popcorn better? Yeah. Is there any way to get plain popcorn? No better?
Yeah, I can make one up for you. If you want one without butter.
Please.
What's that?
Small.
There's Denny.
There you go.
How you doing, June?
I'm doing pretty good. Grandma, did you have more of these big old things? Yes, we do. Let's see, that is green. Go in the back room and look for it.
Well, that's what I need.
Here comes Kevin riding in on a horse. Eek! I'll read the passages for you. Hand over the goodies.
Some of them too.
And the popcorn, Pops.
The tricky one, Brad. He's handing them out.
Doo-doo-doo-doo. Oh, here is Dr. Pepper.
He's going along. Good day, ma'am. All right, you crooks.
Not so fast, Dr. Pepper.
Close your mouth. We're rolling around. They get on their horses. Up sway.
There they go.
Everyone's congratulating him. Our hero.
The next one I like is coming up here. Here's another one. This is another one of my favorites right here.
Yep.
Here's a man making up for his next big role. He's the star of our next attraction. With mustard and relish, he'll guarantee a mouth-watering satisfaction. And now he sips his costume on a beautiful golden bun. There's his cue to go out on stage.
He's the natural.
He's the rage. Meet this person at a key at our refreshment counter. Treat the family.
Yay! That's my favorite. I can't remember what one comes up next.
I like musharoony rooms.
Like you crave that corn when it's freshly bobbed. You gotta beat it to the box with the butter on the top.
Get with it, man. Start strolling down to the sweets that set you rolling, the best in town. Our candy's real gone, if I'm understood. To all you squares, that means the confection is positively delicious. Cork that stuff. Give me 5. Let me send you into this nutty jive. Go, man, go. It ain't very far. Shake it on down to this cool snack bar. Come on, Jill, give us a treat. A friendly pepper-upper with a tasty beat.
Drink Dr. Pepper, Dr. Pepper, 'cause it never lets you down.
Frosty, man, frosty.
What is it? Say, what is it? Hey, why, it's buttercup. Popcorn and sweet cream butter, too hot popcorn. Mix it up, wrap it up, buttercup is born. It's delicious.
So nutritious.
It's a taste delight. It's so munchy,
Crispy, crunchy.
you'll enjoy each bite. Eat butter-drenched buttercup, popcorn at its best. Served in a king-size cup. It beats all the rest.
For your added pleasure and convenience, the snack bar will stay open during the entire showing of Legend of Hell House. Anytime during the feature, if you desire any of your Showtime treats, come on in, the snack bar will be open. All your Showtime treats will be available during the entire showing of Legend of Hell House.
We saw that one, Brad.
The snack bar commercials over, the lights dim, and the movie would flash to life. For a few hours, we were whisked away to places of amusement, danger, and horror under the dome of the beautiful sky. Of course, we had our drinks, pizza, and popcorn to sustain us along the journey. As I mentioned earlier, the horror and monster movies were our absolute favorites. I remember one evening, while watching a particular horror movie, I saw a stray cat towards the movie screen. I thought, poor cat, I'll give it something to eat. So I started calling, "Kitty, kitty, kitty." To my delight, the cat saw me and began running towards my car. I kept calling it, but suddenly, halfway to the car, to my horror, I realized that it was a skunk and not a cat. It was rather warm that night, but the doors and the window were closed for the duration of the movie.
Stop it! You're acting like a child!
I'm sure every person who attended the Sunrise Drive-In could share their own story or stories. If you do have a story from the Sunrise Drive-In, feel free to share it by leaving it in the comments section below. I'm sure many would love to read about it. What can you tell us about the last few years?
Hell, it was heartbreaking. The business was just going down the hill.
Yeah. What do you think did that? What do you think made the drive-in people stop?
Oh, your indoor theaters with all the surround sound.
Oh.
That primarily, and then videos.
Oh yeah, can't forget
So
that.
a little of this, a little of that.
Now that must have been a big killer, the home video.
They seem to say that people that used to go to drive-in stopped going to drive-in and started renting videos and staying home.
Let me ask you one last question.
Yes.
Many years from now, when maybe there aren't any drive-ins left at all, and somebody's watching this, what would you like them to remember about drive-ins or the Sunrise Drive-In?
Oh, you know, it is such a sad thing that the drive-in is gone. It really is, because they're all going and they'll never be back. It'll never happen again. You know, land is just too valuable. And it's like, you know, at the end people were there, well, we need to save the Sunrise Drive-In. You know, we need to do this, we need to do that. But actually, for the last years in that, there was no support. You know, everybody wants the drive-ins to be there. But no matter what Gabe did as far as the film he bought, or no matter what he did, you know, they weren't coming. The prices were just giveaway prices and everything. And you would find the nostalgic person that would say, oh, I just look for you to be open so that I can go, you know. They were the one-nighter, you know, just to come. But the sound at the other theaters, you know, sound became such a big thing. And you didn't have it at the drive-in.
They say that all things must pass. And so, I'm afraid, has the Sunrise Drive-In. In 2004, the Sunrise Drive-In was demolished. A few of these photos are of the drive-in just before it was demolished. Others were taken in September of 2005 after the demolition. I mourn for the loss of the Sunrise Drive-In. There are still many evenings, just at sunset, when the weather is cool and still, where I find myself thinking, tonight would be a great night to go to the Sunrise Drive-In. As you watch the following footage, try squinting a bit. See if you can't see the drive-in as it was once again.
Sunrise Drive-In. All your Showtime foods are ready waiting for you at the snack bar. There's fresh hot coffee, freshly baked pizza. You have your choice of cheese, Italian sausage, pepperoni, and deluxe combination pizza with everything on it. Anyone who's buying a pizza, place your pizza order in as soon as you get to the snack bar. Your pizza will be freshly baked in 4 minutes.